So, hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Turn 5 podcast. We're starting to get back into the swing of things as the winter break is fast approaching its conclusion. This week, we've got more car launches, circuit contract extensions, and I don't know if we'll have other
More car
ramblings.
launches.
Yeah, we usually do. Let's just get right into it with whoever was first. It was Alpine, I believe. And it's
Horrible.
it's a bit shit, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
I'll overlay some images as we talk about it, but the large part of it is
Carbon
carbon
fiber.
fiber.
Yeah.
I feel like we've spoken about this before, and I feel like I'm going to bring it up again. Can we have a mandated minimum percentage bodywork painted of a colour, please? Because Haas is more understandable, being a black and white coloured team. Alpine are pink and blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pink, blue, and white. Like, come on. And Haas would be able to just, get away with it by painting, even if they wanted to stick black and white, just paint it black. You'd still see the difference between black paint and carbon fiber. But
yeah.
This supposedly pink and blue team is black with accents of pink.
Haas can get away with it because that has been their whole colour scheme since the start, is black and white, a little bit of red. Occasionally, once, black and gold. But still,
we don't talk about that.
Like, I think Mercedes get away with it as well with the black car.
Yeah.
They've ran it for a few seasons now. Yeah. Like,
it was painted black. It was obviously not carbon fiber.
Don't get me wrong, there were bits that were, but it was a lot of paint as well.
Yeah, last year with the sort of half and half carbon fiber, half black, it worked because it was a black car.
Yeah, you could see the paint.
Yeah.
So it made sense.
Whereas Alpine, it's just very little design.
Just carbon fiber.
Now, like, what I will say...
The nose cone, for me, looks like somebody's... You know when someone, like, traces round something, you put a bit of paper over the top, and then you score around the edge. It looks like someone's done that, and the scoring is what's left the pink.
Yeah, the pink and the blue, yeah.
And that's it. Someone just traced the nose cone and left pink, and that was it. Job done.
I feel like it could have been all white had they left all the colour to like the back end of the car where the engine is, and just left the front carbon fibre or whatever. But
if the nose cone was just black and then the colour came in, that would probably have been quite good.
Kind of like how Renault used to be. I think their last season as they were Renault. It looked from the front, the car looked black, but from the side it looked yellow. That wasn't bad, but the colours are dotted around everywhere.
Now, what I will say is where they've actually put paint, it's a big improvement on last year's. At least in my opinion. The problem is they've not put anywhere near enough paint on it.
What I find amusing is that from the top down, so the helicopter view shots that we'll get of the car, the diagonal stripes on the engine cover form a backwards pointing arrow, which I feel like is a prediction of their performance for the season.
Quite possibly. We will see about that. But yeah, Alpine, that's 2 years in a row now. You've disappointed us.
Well, yeah, ever since they've brought in BWT.
Yeah, like you had some cracking liveries before. That's 2 seasons in a row you've disappointed everybody. Do better.
All you have to do is look at the Alpine WEC car, and it's back to like the blue, red, and white. And it's so nice.
The tricolour, yeah.
That is nice.
It's a French flag on wheels, but it looks good.
But it works and it looks good.
If they'd done something like that, but into pink, it would have worked.
if you sign a sponsor like BWT, who has a very distinct color palette, you have to commit and full send on the color palette, like Force
the
India
Racing
did.
Point.
Yeah.
It was just pink.
But that worked.
Yeah, I loved the car.
Yeah. Nobody ever said, well, Eurovips, nobody else ever said anything bad about the Racing Point's bright pink car. And everyone knew who they were, and they always stood out, and it grabbed your attention. This is just going to blend in.
Yeah, like the Racing Point was completely different to anything that people had seen in Formula One, so it stood out.
Yeah.
It was instantly recognizable, and that's what you want in a design.
But this livery...
Yeah, that's the whole point of a livery.
But with Racing Point, was it the last year? Like, when was it 2020 when they brought in like the majority pink and white? Like before that, they were sort of going major pink, and then like the sort of dark blue, with a hint of white. But when they solely like pink and white, that's when it really worked.
Yeah, it was the last couple of years, I think.
Yeah,
they just full sent it.
But when around like 2018 and all, it was still a very iffy livery.
Yeah, they were trying to bring in the blue a bit as well.
So basically, Alpine just need to scrap blue, get it gone.
Also, can we just talk about how Alpine teased us with that pink camo nose cone, only to drop the absolute calamity that is their actual livery?
They've done a Red Bull.
Yeah,
I feel like that might be. Don't they normally just run like a pink livery though?
Yeah, that's probably going to be like
They did announce the special edition of the car. I haven't actually found any photos of that yet, but apparently it looks exactly the same as the one we've already got.
Great.
But yeah, because last year's special livery was just the colours inverted.
Yeah.
And it was only for 2 races or something.
Yeah.
Okay, now seeing a side-by-side between last year's and this year's car, I prefer last year's. There's elements of this year's I prefer. Like, I prefer the rear of the engine cover, where it's got the massive A for Alpine, and they've done the stripes like that, whereas last year's was just a solid black block in that area with the driver number on it. The side pods, last year's is better. It has more colour on it. Last year's halo was coloured. The whole of the air inlet on the top of the engine cover was coloured, and it just looks better.
They did fix the wheel cover complaint that we had from last year, though.
Yeah.
That's nice.
They've generated more issues.
Yeah. So they fixed a couple of things and broke the rest.
Oh yeah, I see. Okay, no, I have found the images of the special edition. They've just snuck it into the same post. So the nose cone is normally blue round the edges, but where it's pink is the special edition they're running at the start.
Yeah, so they've just inverted the colours again. Wow.
Cop out.
Ben? I was just going to move on. I had enough of Alpine.
Yeah, that's fine.
What were you going to say?
I prefer this year's to last year's.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's just the fact that there's less blue and pink. That's not to say that I have anything wrong with blue and pink, like Yuri Vips, but yeah, it's just the less of Alpine, the better.
Yeah, you just don't want to see them on the grid.
yeah.
I just want to be able to instantly identify them so I can laugh at them.
Anyway,
see Ocon going into the pits for about the 50th time.
16th time penalty of the race, yeah. So yeah, moving on. Next up in the week, we had quite a surprise, actually. A 10-year contract extension for the British Grand Prix.
That as far as I can recall, since Liberty Media took over, that is the first European circuit to be given a 10-year extension.
Yeah, I think that is right.
We've
Definitely
seen
European.
we've seen 5s, and we've seen 3s and 2s and 1s, but we've not seen a European circuit get 10s. We've seen the awarding of 10 years contracts to Miami, to Vegas, to Qatar, 10-year extension for Abu Dhabi, 10 years for Saudi Arabia.
I think so.
It's probably 100 years.
Yeah.
Permanence for Saudi Arabia.
But I mean, you just can't get rid of Silverstone. I know we say no track on the calendar should like be immune or whatever, but Silverstone is the home of Formula One. It's where it all began.
It should be
and
4.
Yeah. Silverstone, Spa, and Monza are the absolute musts. I'd argue Suzuka. Oh, you want more? It's got a history, but
it's the history.
Yeah.
I feel the sport's outgrown it.
I know you say, the race is shite,
which
but
it is.
Year on year, the qualifying is by far the greatest in the season.
But we're not a qualifying sport; we're a racing sport.
Yeah, but then, and it was the OG street circuit as well.
True.
Yeah, true.
Like, we love a street circuit. We don't want the whole calendar to be a street circuit.
No, that's
the issue.
Now,
hey, at least this means we won't be getting London for another 10 years.
As much as I
this is true.
love Silverstone, and I'm delighted it's got a 10-year contract extension, I think it deserves it. The amount of circuits getting really long extensions is now starting to worry me a little, because it's going to leave no space for movement in the calendar. We'll be going to the exact same tracks. Like, we really want Kyalami to come back if he can get up to Grade 1 standards. Malaysia, if it could come back, would be outstanding. But there's just going to be no space for them with all these huge extensions that are getting given out. I mean, Chicago is coming up. Apparently is going to get a Grand Prix, taking us up to 4 US Grand Prix.
And another street circuit.
But no American team.
The only thing I heard people talk about is maybe Chicago come in when the COTA contract expires.
God, no.
Please. Nice.
Which I think is 2026.
Let's get rid of one of the tracks that every driver enjoys driving.
Yeah.
And the fans quite enjoy watching.
It's a sellout event every year now.
Yeah.
It gets over 400,000 people in over the weekend. If they cancel it, it's ludicrous.
The only thing I would accept replacing COTA with is Indianapolis. It's the only one.
Yeah, but I think that's run its day. That's run its course.
Yeah, what means if we're getting rid of COTA for anywhere, it's got to be Indianapolis or nothing.
So, in 2023, COTA had 432,000 fans. Now let's check Miami and Vegas.
That's bridging Silverstone numbers. I'm pretty sure Silverstone was 500,000.
I think so.
It's one of the biggest capacity crowds in the sport.
Miami has 270,000. So that's a lot less.
130,000 of those were paid for by F1.
Oh no, that's Vegas.
No,
and then if you put F1 Vegas fans, the first thing is why people also ask, why are there no fans at Vegas F1?
Because they spent
That-
their entire budget getting people to go to Miami.
Yeah, as soon as you bet everyone Vegas fans, it's just removed, kicked out, sent home.
I was going to say, yeah, that may be because of the whole free practice debacle.
Yeah. But like,
All in, it's
okay,
around 315,000 spectators.
Nonsense.
So it's still
Lies.
100. Even if that's the maximum, it's still 115,000 short of Kota.
now bear in mind the largest sporting event in America is the Super Bowl, right?
It's actually the Indy 500.
Okay, but like more people will watch the Super Bowl. The
Yeah.
capacity of the stadium that they've just had it in Vegas last night, 65,000.
Yeah.
So we're talking at like what 5 times that capacity
In person.
in just boots on the ground over the course of a weekend at Kota, and they don't want to. They might not extend it. They might go to Chicago instead. Really?
Yeah. The only thing I can praise to does IndyCar not also call their races Grand Prix? Maybe it's that. Maybe IndyCar's going to Chicago. That would be great.
No, someone said Formula One itself.
Fuck.
I swear that's what I saw.
Yeah, unless they've like trademarked Formula One Grand Prix of Chicago or something. I had some hope there. I had some hope.
Your hope was dashed.
Also, Chris, to lower your sorrows even more, the Super Bowl is the most viewed American.
Not so
sport
much
event.
most viewed. I meant like attended.
Oh yeah, but that's because
Yeah.
Super Bowls are limited. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 400,000 go to the Indy 500.
It's a much bigger stadium.
Yeah.
Imagine, scrap the infield, turn it into a fucking football field.
Yeah.
Super Bowl at the Indy 500.
Do we let the cars go around as well?
Run both at the same time.
Yeah.
A bit dodgy if there's a wayward pass ends up on the track.
Touchdown! Punts the ball in celebration. Causes a 7-car pileup.
Yeah, it's the Grand Prix of Chicago, Formula One Grand Prix of Chicago, Chicago Grand Prix, and Formula One Chicago Grand Prix.
What's that? What's called Chicago Grand Prix, Chicago, Chicago Grand Prix.
Is that what they've filed at the trademark office?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Hopefully it gets denied. That would be amazing.
Well, okay.
You want this race? Trademark denied.
Yeah, sorry, you can't call it the Grand Prix of Chicago, Chicago Grand Prix.
We should take this with a hefty pinch of salt because this is like the earliest of early days,
Yeah.
and I'm 90% sure that the Formula One London Grand Prix already has a trademark somewhere because they filed for it when they started asking about the possibility of doing a London one. So, you know, it's a long way off, even if they do want to do it. But it's Chicago, and no thank you.
Yeah, I hope they never do it. Anyway, we had another car launch after that.
We did.
Toro Rosso.
Big old V-carb. Now,
Yeah.
everyone, I will give this one praise before I say what I don't like about it.
There's paint.
There's something that I
There's
definitely don't like
actual
about
paint.
it.
Paint.
What don't you like? The name?
Sponsor.
But yeah.
Of Orlen, once again. There's quite what's the word? I can't think. Similarities to last year in the fact that we had a moan, well, at least I had a moan at Orlen and BWT. And once again,
there's more
it's just-
red, and there's a different blue.
Yeah.
But
It's
to be
just
fair,
the white.
Orlen aren't the only thing bringing the white, because Hugo Boss is on the white, Visa is also on the white,
Honda.
and the
Yeah, but
actual
that's-
bulls themselves are white.
Honda's on the
But it's
one.
Orlen that want the white. and the red, isn't it? Like if it was just the white stripe across the nose,
I don't like
I don't
that.
like it. I don't
Yes.
want it.
I
Yeah,
don't like
I
that.
think the
Get
the
it
nose
gone.
cone should just be solid blue, and then the
Yeah.
stripe works. I don't care about the side profile. Looks okay, so that's fine. But the top
Yeah,
down, it just looks wrong.
The stripe,
Yeah.
the Honda stripe on the side, that looks okay
Mhm.
because it's like, but the one in the middle just breaks it all up and it looks wrong.
Mm.
I think it might be one of those cars that looks better actually on the track,
I'm doubtful.
but we'll see.
I think they should have
Um,
left the top of the nose cone solid blue,
Hmm.
and then
Yeah.
changed the angle of the diagonals on the side of the nose cone to be less aggressive in its incline, so it covers more of the side of the nose cone.
Yeah.
I think that would have looked better. So it comes more under the arch of the side pod more and fills in that space, so that you then have sort of the side pod as like the demarcation between the zones.
But yeah, no, I do still like the livery.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Full credit for actually producing a car with colour.
Yeah, for actually painting the car. Um,
It is very Red Bull.
It's very Red Bull. It's also, I mean, I know
very
I said it, it's
Toro
very
Rosso.
Toro Rosso.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And
That's
I love
exactly what
that.
it is.
Like,
Just gone back to
because
their
I love,
roots.
yeah, I love the Toro Rosso cars. I
It's
thought they all looked really good.
I think Toro Rosso ones are still better than this, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
Way better.
but you can see the inspiration.
Mm.
As much as I thought the Alpha Tauri cars were quite snazzy, and I really liked their team wear, I think going back to their roots in terms of the actual livery design is nice.
I think the teamwear for this year looks pretty sick.
I've not seen that. I'm just looking at the photos of the car.
Teamwear.
Yeah, the race overalls.
The overalls look okay.
It's basically it's
team
clean white with
I
the
see it
blue
now,
stripes
yeah.
down the side. With a
It's very
massive
smooth.
Hugo on the leg.
The overalls are
Huge
okay.
Visa across the front.
It's the teamwear I don't really like.
Have they released merch yet?
Yeah, it's like not great.
Oh god.
Yeah, to be fair, there's a interview with Daniel Ricciardo, and he's wearing the new sort of polo, and yeah, it's just white.
It's okay, but also could be a lot better.
Like, look at Alpha Tauri. Like, their stuff was great.
Yeah.
Actually, I've changed my mind. Let's go to Chicago.
Anyway,
Why are we going to Chicago now?
Because I can crash at someone's place if I want to go to that one.
Nice.
100% drive.
God's sake. And then after VCarb, we got today's launch, or yesterday's, you're listening to the episode, Aston Martin. And once again, there is paint on the car.
And once again, I will drag out the meme of corporate wants you to identify the differences between these images. And it's the same image.
Yeah, it's the same car. But do you know what? I'm quite happy with that. I thought the car looked good last year, and it looks good this year.
It's the Red Bull approach.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They have slightly changed the shade of green.
Oh.
If you look at the side-by-sides from last year's to this year's, you can see it more clearly. It's less pearlescent and more just gloss green.
Yeah. Formula One haven't released the proper gallery, so I can't see it all that great, but...
It's on their Twitter.
Ah, okay. Aston Martins or Formula Ones?
Formula Ones. When I go for my weekly roundup, I go on Formula One and then just press media, and it just brings up all the photos.
Yeah, fair.
Because then I can sort of scroll through and get a rough snapshot of what news has happened.
Also fair. What I do like is I like the new rear wing on the Aston. I know it's because of a sponsor change, but see, I just have it in black with a sponsor logo. It's a lot better than the Aramco green and blue.
I think they've still got a Aramco on the it's a Aramco on the top,
Yeah.
and then they've changed the rear facing side to Valvoline. Is it Valvoline? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but it looks nice.
They filled one more sponsor slot on their F1 24, 14 different
Yeah.
sponsor slots.
Unlocked a new one. And they've slightly changed their wheel covers. The little slots have gone from white to yellow. What would be quite cool for a team to do it is probably McLaren that would do it. See how they had the change in sponsorship boards? Like for Aston Martin, obviously they've got the wee slots in the wheel covers. I'd love that if those changed depending on what tires were on. It's such a small thing, but it would be quite cool
That would be
to have
cool.
them match the tire.
Yeah.
Well,
I suppose
probably far too heavy, but
I suppose Pirelli are still allocating how many tires they take for each team, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't choose how many compounds of each they get. So once they know that they could just paint that many colours, because that rim bit is theirs. It's just the tire on the outside.
Yeah, true.
It's possible.
It's possible. Someone phone up Aston Martin, but hey, do a cool thing.
Could you please?
There's the guy painting them green and blue that gets to use like once a season. Why have I done this?
What is the point of this? That's when it washes off in the rain.
Taking them to like Bahrain, just the blue painted tire rims. Hey guys, just in case.
That's got to be such a waste, I swear. Just taking rain tires to the middle of a desert.
They must surely reuse those ones.
They have to. If they don't, that's criminal.
Because they're not race run. They're not run at all.
No, they never see the light of day. They're just left.
The closest we got was when there was that sandstorm during testing a couple of years ago, and we were like, will they go out on the inters to clear the track? They didn't, but that was probably the closest we came to seeing them used in Bahrain. Or the year we got rain in Abu Dhabi.
When was that?
What season was it? I think it was the season that Hulkenberg got launched upside down on lap 1.
2019?
Yeah, there was like a rainstorm overhead.
2018.
But the second the rain hit the track, it just evaporated.
I was going to say, it was one of the seasons of Drive to Survive, but I didn't watch it.
So it would have been the first season.
It was first or second.
Go back and watch that Grand Prix, actually. It was even on the old circuit, it was a pretty good Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
I'm setting my expectations not very high.
Yeah, but especially for the old circuit, it was a pretty good race.
Again, Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi old layout as well.
Convincing me.
Sorry, I just realised something. So, Hugo Boss is a sponsor for VCarb, and then you've got the Boss sponsorship on the Aston Martin car as well. So get those two lining up, and you can read Hugo Boss across the side of the car. Oh god.
We just hope that RB's either went forward enough and that Aston Martin hasn't went backwards enough for that to happen on the grid. Oh, that's what we need to do in next week's episode. Our
Get to everyone cast
pre-season
together.
testing.
Oh god.
No, our
yeah.
pre-season testing predictions.
Oh yeah.
Ruh-roh.
Lando's winning the championship.
Here we go.
Did we even go over our ones last year?
I don't know.
I swear I ask this every year because I never remember.
We
That was
never
a long time
actually
ago.
went through our final end of year results of that, but I will release that when we do the new ones.
Yeah, we'll do that next week.
Good, because I haven't counted the points. I realised after we'd done like the end of year roundup that I never actually did the pre-season prediction results. We just did the championship prediction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously 2 sets of predictions coming your way over the next couple of weeks. We've got our pre-season testing ones where we know absolutely nothing about the pecking order, and then post pre-season testing where we've seen some cars on track, and we've got an idea who's good and who's shit.
This requires me to think about logic.
Mhm.
And you know I can't do that with F1.
Well, next week doesn't. Next week's just blind guessing.
Yeah.
Next week you could
You could just
technically
draw
have
it
an
out of a hat.
argument for Haas winning the championship.
Yeah, for all we know, the Haas could be a rocket ship.
Yeah.
I vote Nia does her entire season predictions on a random wheel.
Yes.
That's basically what I do in my head anyway.
So just make a wheel. I'll send you a website, and then every time you spin it, you can click remove, and it'll take
You
them
know
out.
what?
And then
We'll
it's beautiful.
do it now.
Well, no, because won't
We've
we
got to
then
do it
get
next
a,
year. Next year,
won't we
next
then
week.
get
Next
a
year.
situation like Nia's last year's predictions, where she had like Williams 10th, but the driver's something like 14th and 15th in the
Oh, yeah,
championship?
it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Told you, I can't logic with predictions.
No, I
Unexpected DNF, that was a banger.
Right, it's either
that's a throwback, a half
do
unexpected
the
DNF.
like drivers' championship first, and then through that work out where you'd put the constructors.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah. I have more of a shot. No, I won't have more of a shot.
I think I might do it the other way
don't
around.
have Alpine.
I think, yeah, that's a good point though. If you do the
constructors
a
and then
rough idea.
roughly place where the drivers go.
Okay, I'll do that.
Because the constructors, you only need to pick 10 places, not 20.
Yeah, so we know that Red Bull's probably going to win, or at the very least come second. So, you know, their drivers are going to be somewhere in the top 4.
Yeah.
And you know that
Wow.
Aston Martin could be anywhere from 2nd to 5th. So their drivers could be anywhere from 2nd to 10th.
Well, I don't know. I
Into
think Aston Martin could be lower than 5th.
Really?
I would say they dropped into that sort of ballpark at the end of the season.
I don't know, because once they took their upgrades off, they started going faster again. So...
But then the problem is, they've had all of the off-season to do developments that they can't run. So they may very well show up to Bahrain with the same problem. Look at this new car. Oh my god, it's 5 seconds slower.
Oh my god, we're last.
Yeah, exactly.
Back to last year's car, boys. They just
McLaren
dust off last year's car and wheel it out instead.
Garage, boys.
We know who's going to be last in Bahrain. It's going to be McLaren. Because they do it every year.
The curse
they
of
show
the
up
tractor.
with it's the tractor in Bahrain. They get good as the season goes on, and then at the start of the season, they show up with a tractor.
Yeah. Tractor to rocket ship arc is something they do every year. It's incredible they do it so consistently. It's also incredible they're so consistently shit at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Like, what happens over winter? Do all of the in-season developers just take the winter off? And it's the B team that designs the car?
Surely
their contract is seasonally. The in-season guys are just for the summer.
Yeah, surely someone in McLaren realises, this happens every year. Let's not.
if they realised that, surely they'd have changed it by now, and we wouldn't be talking about like what the 4th year in a row that they've got off to a slow start and then developed a rocket ship.
The worst of it is, though, there's like no changes to the regulations. Just show up with the same car. Like that
but
could
then
work.
Other teams get faster over the off season.
Well, maybe.
But they should. Anyway,
Yeah, they should.
Theoretically.
Everyone should. I think
To be
Adrian
fair,
Newey
though-
said that you can gain anywhere from, you're expected to gain anywhere between half and a second.
Although he did say that Red Bull's gains probably aren't as big as some people might expect because it's relatively the same car.
Yeah, well, you know, once you've nailed a rule set and beaten a car and created a car that's like already 1.5 seconds quicker than everyone else, you don't really need to develop half a second to a second, do you? You can go, we've got 0.3, that'll do, because the others still need to catch up 2 seconds.
Yeah. But yeah, no, he did say that he expected it to be a lot closer this year. Because some of the other teams have gone absolutely wild with their development concepts.
See, that's the thing. That's kind of what you have to do. Adrian Newey went wild from the get-go and nailed it.
Mercedes went wild and absolutely ballsed it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the risk you take. It's Mercedes' idea had the potential to be good.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't look great. I think Seb
And it turned
Vettel's
a lot of
description of
heads.
it was hilarious. It just looks like someone's dropped a glove and it's just gone.
Yeah, it did. It turned a lot of heads in the paddock, the no pods.
Yeah, I feel like that sort of helped Red Bull in a way because their car kind of flew under the radar for the first couple of weeks of testing because everyone was looking at Mercedes.
Especially because we went to Spain as well. And Mercedes looked great in Spain. And they're like, oh my god, this could be the new big thing. And then we showed up in Bahrain and it was a fucking tank.
They gave a McLaren a run for his money.
Yeah, literally. And they've just never recovered. So, although the lead designer that was off for a bit is now back. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. That basically aced the W11, etc. So we'll see. Maybe they'll come up with a good car this year. The last year that they actually have lots of fans because Team LH are going to go like sheep to Ferrari.
The Tifosi are going to love that.
Silverstone 2025 is going to be so funny because it's just going to go from a sea of Mercedes merch to a sea of Ferrari merch.
It's going to be a real cacophony of red and orange.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
it's going to look like there's a fire in the grandstand.
I think there'll be some black and white still dotted about.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Like because George is obviously still with Mercedes. We don't know who Lewis's replacement's going to be. But yeah, as you say, it'll be an interesting look in the grandstands.
If George releases some yellow merch for that weekend, that would be top tier banter because then you'd have red, orange, and yellow, and you just set the grandstand ablaze.
Just need Lewis or Lando to release it, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Lando normally does like a luminous yellow.
Yeah, he usually does something like that for the British GP.
Yeah, so it just needs to be less luminous and more just yellow.
Yeah, less neon.
Lando, make it happen.
Neon yellow.
Funny.
This is kind of green. This is green.
It's sort of halfway house, isn't it?
Either that or Renault just need to make a shock return to the grid. Alpine,
it would have been alright if you had Andretti.
Yeah,
Andretti was there. You might have had a chance.
Cadillac, General Motors.
The earliest we'll see them is 2028.
Yeah.
That's shocking, but you know.
4 more years. Although that decision might not be final, because I think Andretti did then publish a statement being like, we didn't know if FOM wanted to meet with us. We're still open to doing that.
Yeah, they did. They clapped back, which is good.
Oh,
But it's been
speak to
absolute
us.
radio silence since then,
Yeah.
which is concerning.
Who knows? Maybe they'll shock us with some good news. That would be great.
I'd be
Unlikely, but would be great.
See, that's what I don't understand is why they said 2028 and not 2026 when the regs change and the new engines come in. Because they said 2028 would be more favourable once they'd brought their own engine supplier. But it's
because
but that's not going to reg changes at 26, so why not let them in then?
FOM denied the entry for 26 because they felt having another customer team wouldn't really bring any value.
That was for
to
25.
Yeah, I think it was for 25 and 26.
Oh.
They said it for both.
Surely they could. That's enough time to develop an engine. The 26 entry, when they've already got the backing of General Motors and Cadillac. You would throw an engine together in a year and a half.
Just borrow Hondas.
See, they'd have to borrow Renault's. That's the thing, because Renault supplies the least customer teams, so Renault are obligated to provide Andretti with engines per the Concord agreement. Is it the Concord that states that, or is it a different set of rules?
I don't know, to be honest. There's too many rules in Formula 1.
Whatever set of rules states that the lowest engine provider provides the team that can't have engines.
But yeah, just do a Red Bull. Get a Honda engine and slap a different badge on it.
Yeah.
This isn't a Honda. It looks like a Red Bull engine. No.
They've just got Honda on the side of the V card now, so it's just a Honda. Let's be honest.
I actually think they went back to In fact, I think the Honda badge is going to appear on the Red Bull as well.
I wouldn't be surprised, and it's only going to be there for this and next year, and then it's going to change into a Ford. That's going to be another thing. 2026 is going to see a big shuffle of engine providers.
Yeah, because Audi are entering as well.
We've got Audi and Ford are coming in. Honda are swapping teams. McLaren will still be with Mercedes.
Well, maybe.
Well, no, they signed an engine contract extension that takes them through the upgrade and the engine reg change.
Yeah.
So that's confirmed for at least, I think it's 2 years after the regs.
Williams will still be with Mercedes.
Yeah,
I think so.
I can't see that changing. Unless somebody comes in and gives them a massive deal and says, here's an engine. If Andretti comes in, says, we're bringing some Cadillac engines, we got some spares, here's some engines, and gives them some engines, and turns the Williams into a V8 roaring rocket ship.
That'd be amazing. To blue and yellow again. Does like a 92 livery. Oh.
The problem is...
it can't say Rothmans on it.
No, half of the Williams car is a Mercedes.
Yeah.
Which is why they use the Mercedes engine.
It'd be amazing if, Cadillac just show up and disrupt the whole sport, though. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. But that's what we want, though.
Yeah, exactly.
These big shake-ups.
Hey, boys, here's your engine.
It's been the grid's been very stale the past few years.
That's
stale since about 2021 and the rest.
That's when Honda take a drastic shift at the new engine regs, to bin their entire engine and just put in a Civic VTEC.
I felt like the last exciting thing with the team was when McLaren went from Renault to Mercedes, and that was it.
Alpine show up with just a Clio engine in the back. Yeah, we're going to win with
zero emissions.
We're going to win with this point-in turbo.
That'd be good. Get Cadillac in, and then you could do Honda VTEC against Cadillac V8.
So you'd have what? Mercedes cheap because their hypercar, the AMG one, is just an old F1 engine.
Yeah.
But then you'd have like a Ferrari V12 twin turbo against a McLaren engine.
It probably have to be like the McLaren F1 engine.
Yeah, against a Honda Civic VTEC against a Renault Megane.
RS.
Oh yeah, sorry, a Renault Megane RS. Against an Alfa Romeo are leaving against an Audi R8. That's what, a V10, I think, an R8.
Well, it's like RS6, is it? Like the estate sort of one.
Oh god, yeah, the saloon.
Yeah.
Well, no, Alpine could throw a big curveball and just shot with one of their truck engines.
Alpine could throw a curveball and turn up with a rally engine, courtesy of the A110.
Suddenly, Vauxhall get involved and join for 2026, and you have a Vauxhall Corsa VRX.
Vauxhall, seeing that Williams don't produce road cars, step in and go, "We'll give you some engines for this."
What a shock! The Williams has broke down again.
No, that's Fiat, man.
Corsas.
Or Ford, to be fair.
Vauxhall.
No, Ford, the Transit Supervan engine. Man, that thing goes like stink.
Who was the person that drove it? It's like the biker person, isn't it?
What, Travis Pastrana?
No, he done like Isle of Man.
Oh,
and he just fucking speaks about bikes 24/7 and loves it. It's like,
I can't remember
I'll
his
say
name.
it's Guy Martin.
Guy Martin. Yeah, Guy Martin.
Guy Martin.
Guy Ritchie. No, that's not the right guy.
I was thinking about when Jeremy Clarkson put like a supercar engine in the back of Ford Transit to race the Australians.
Yeah, the Hammond. They put like a Jag V12 in the transit van, and then they were like, "What's in that van?" And then he didn't even tell Hammond either, and he just shot off. He's like, "What the fuck?" That clip's amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's it for this week, I think.
Yeah.
No other news yet. Ferrari car, by the time this episode comes out, you'll have seen it.
Yeah.
We hope it's nice.
We hope it's red.
Yeah. The team wear looks quite nice that they were teasing. So here's hoping. It looks far less McDonald's, which is good.
It's always a good start.
What, the air for us?
Yeah. Mercedes is on Valentine's Day.
As is McLaren.
Well, we've seen the McLaren livery, though.
Yeah, but there's still something going on, so...
They haven't shown the car, I think. That's what they were saying.
The helmets as well. They released the helmets the other day. Oscar Piastri's helmet looks so nice.
The only thing I know about Lando's is he's matching with his sister who does horse riding. That's the only thing I know about Lando's.
But yeah, so McLaren's launch isn't really as big, I don't think. Because we know what the car looks like.
Doing it for every series that they do with like IndyCar and
a bit like the Alpine one where they do like a motorsport launch rather than
get everyone together sort of thing.
And Red Bull is on the 15th, but again, we know what it's going to look like. It's a Red Bull.
Yep.
And then we'll be back on Monday. And Cars on Track on Tuesday, I believe it is. No, sorry. Wednesday, the 21st. A week on Wednesday, Cars on Track. For the first
predictions in
time.
there.
Yeah, first time of the year. Can't wait for that. And then, of course, on the 29th, we go green for free practice 1 in Bahrain. We'll remind you closer to the time, but it is a Thursday. We go live for Formula 1 on a Thursday this year.
The first two races of the season are on a Saturday.
Do not
Why's
forget.
I missed that.
Uh,
Why?
it's because
Religious
of
reasons.
Okay.
I think it's Ramadan
Yeah.
starts
Okay.
on the Sunday in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, so they.
So, and I think there's a rule where there needs to be like 7 days between races. So they had to move Bahrain a day forward so they can move
Oh,
Saudi Arabia a day forward. But yeah, so Saturday, the 2nd of March, is the first race of the season.
Oh, that could be
Yeah.
messy. Because Saudi Arabia is on the Saturday at 5:00, and
Yeah.
I'm on holiday with all of my friends. So
Are we going to get another Drunk Ben episode?
no, it'd be hungover.
Oh,
So it'd be the
not
Monday.
good.
I wasn't sure if you were still on holiday.
You
No,
can
no.
always drink on.
It's only the weekend away. I go on the Friday, and then I come back on the Monday.
Oh, okay.
It's disappointing.
So,
Yeah.
but what it does mean is my race review could be that's pretty shit. I was drunk the whole time.
So you should think it's banging then, because you're wasted.
I was going to say, yeah, that
Yeah,
could
but I just think like,
improve.
what happened during the race? I have no idea.
It sounds like a Nia Formula E race
Yeah.
review.
They went round.
Yeah.
Unless,
cars.
unless some miracle by some miracle, like a McLaren wins, and then I'll just be fucking ecstatic for the whole evening.
It'd be even more drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we will get a Ben drunk race review.
No,
The
we'll
only
just have
issue I
Ben
have-
from his bed being like, "No, not this
Ah.
week."
But if
Um,
I drink too much, I'll throw up, which is an issue.
I've done that.
The
Well,
TC.
Anyway.
kitchen floor.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no,
Anyway.
I can't tactically chunny.
Oh,
I just
no.
throw up for about 2 hours.
Anyway. Join us next week for our pre-season testing predictions, the final thoughts on the car launches. We might even rank all 10 into what we think is good and shit to try and pad for some time.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I don't think it'd be that long.
Thank you for watching
That
the top
carbon
5.
car, shit. That carbon car, shit. That carbon car, shit. Toro
Ben,
Rosso, okay.
You're going to have lots of entries for worst livery of the year.
Yeah.
You
No,
better
actually,
be
that could
Aston
change.
or Red Bull because they're the exact same.
No, I've already got my idea for that now. Just carbon livery of the year.
Carbon of the year.
Piece
Anyway.
of carbon of the year.
Thank you very much for watching the Turn 5 podcast. We will see you next week. Ta-ra for now.